Okay, hey everybody. It is Elizabeth. I guess most of you guys know me as Liz. That's an awkward thing to explain. The way that this works is this. Pretty much anytime I introduce myself to anybody here in Turkey, I just automatically do it as Elizabeth because they know Elizabeth, because you got a couple queens named Elizabeth, you got a couple really nice characters named Elizabeth. Do you? Yes, you do. And so they don't really know Liz very well. They kind of give me this look like, heck man, like even when I say Elizabeth, I have to say it really slowly. And then even then it's sort of like a 70-30 chance that they're gonna understand me. So, you know, hey, it's exciting. Anyway, I'm Liz, and in case you couldn't tell from the last rant that I just had, I've spent the last year in Istanbul. This Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah. So this Friday, August 31st, August 30th, is the official 1-year anniversary of me being in Turkey. Yay! It's really exciting. You think that I would have run away screaming by now. I'm totally kidding. I love Turkey. It's a lot of fun. To mark the occasion, I thought that I would list some of the things that I've learned during my last year here in Turkey. Starting with, relationships are absolutely important. Be intentional about them. When I say they're important, I mean this is a country where the relationship that you have with your boss could very easily determine whether or not you get fired. Additionally, this is also the country where I'm pretty sure the phrase, "I know a guy," originated from. Let me give you an example. One of my friends, unfortunately, don't ask me why she needs a check. That's really none of my business, is it? Knew somebody who worked in the airport Can you pull up this person's records and see whether... Lo and behold, there was no problem with this. That's a little bit frightening to those of us in the United States. We have a system basically where, you know what, you could get so horribly sued for that. Here, So, relationships are absolutely important. Beyond that, you do not get a job here necessarily because of your resume. You get jobs because of who you know, or what kind of skills you have. But mostly because of who you know. Is there anything wrong with this? Most Americans would argue that yes, there is absolutely something wrong with getting a job based on who you know. I have come to the conclusion that I respectfully disagree. Instead of putting yourself thousands of dollars into debt so that you can get what essentially amounts to a pretty piece of paper, spending up to 7 years of your life in school beyond what you already completed for the last 12 years, and then still not getting a job because your resume looks just like everyone else's, it's not a bad idea to find out where the head of hiring from that company that has that job that you just really, really want goes to lunch. It's not a bad idea to semi-stalk him a little bit. I don't mean stalking in the traditional or being super duper uber creepy sort of way. I mean stalking in the non-traditional way of, I am really stinking desperate for a job and I will do whatever it takes, even if it means kissing a little ass. Which, as most of my college graduate friends know, is kind of where we're at today. Number 2. Fighting, especially during childhood, is not actually that bad. Let me explain. Here in Turkey, what I noticed is that yes, children fight all the time, but their fights essentially amount to what I refer to as fireworks. They're really, really bright and big for a second, and then they die. And then the next minute, those two people who were fighting are now best friends. The difference between the Turkish system and the American system is that Americans have this habit of taking their anger and bottling it inside and letting it build and build and build and build and build until that fight that happens is pretty much the most smackdown, drag out, intense thing you've ever seen in your life. Teeth are getting knocked out, it is not a lot of fun, and when that fight is done, those two people who were fighting are going to be enemies for life, save an act of God. Do I think it's the best thing in the world? No. Although it is pretty entertaining when everybody stops the bus so that everyone can get out and look at the fight that's happening. Number 3, everything will work out. Don't stress, it's going to be okay. I basically now live in the country of the last minute plan. Turks actually pride themselves on being able to do everything at the last second. They get these really big, great ideas that need to happen right now. This is pretty much why this is my favorite country of all time. On the flip side, number 4, if you don't like something, dear God, change it. I realize that things happen. One day you're really, really happy, the next day a pterodactyl swoops out of the sky and bites your head off, or something to that effect. Most of the time, you can see the train wreck coming. Please, do us all a favor, especially yourself. Get out of the way of the train wreck. Number 5. The one thing I've learned over the last year in Turkey, holy jeez do I need Jesus. There isn't a whole lot else to say about that. If it weren't for Jesus and if it weren't for God, this year could have been an absolute hellhole. Instead, it was what I would like to call a learning experience. That's pretty much what I've learned in the last year. I'm really looking forward to what I'll learn in the next year. Real quick before I go. Shout outs to my mom, my dad for being awesome, my brother for being a general kick-ass human being, and I love him to pieces. Always praying for you, bro, you're the best. General shout out to Joanne. Hi, Angela, I love you. The Harpers. My Aunt Joyce. And my Aunt Marianne for her lovely, lovely letters. Thank you so much. I really appreciate them. I hope you guys have a great year.